Hey everybody, it is Dirk Weekdays. It is 5:10, 10 minutes later than the usual time because of more bullshit. Hope you guys are all well. Let's see who's in the room. We've got Andrew Wolkowicz starting out the chat as always and every day. This guy is just unbelievable how he starts it all off every single super day with a super chat. Thank you, Andrew, so very much for that. We've got Vaughn in the room. Hi, Dirk. Is there a no-kill shelter you like that we could donate to in memory of Laverne? I do, as a matter of fact. And there's a couple that I really like. My sister's very involved as well, but we had Laverne cremated at Bidewee, and it's the oldest no-kill shelter in New York, and their address is https secure server secure.bidewee.org. It's one of the greatest places. They are not for profit, and they do their very best, and they've been doing it for 100 years. Another great place is the North Shore Animal League. It's www.animalleague.org, which is in Long Island, Port Washington to be precise. It's a beautiful place that everybody from the New York metropolitan area have been going to adopt and I guess surrender some of their pets if they're in a situation where they can't care for them anymore. But those are two amazing places. So that's www.http.secure.bidewee.org. That's to donate, and the Animal League, www.animalleague.org. And that's a beautiful thing for you to ask. And thank you so much, Vaughn. Oh, Andrew's in the room. He says, let's bash. Jem Hader says, evening. Dean says, hello all. It's Mark Gerard. Hey, Dirk. Hey, Mark. How are you? Angelo Minikillo. Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon. And the beautiful and talented Nathaniel Hannon with the $9.99 super bash. And that's going to give you thank you for that, Nathaniel. It's a beautiful thing for you to do. And Lord H is here, present, everybody and accounted for. You know why I'm 10 minutes late? As if things couldn't get worse. More bullshit. So you guys all know that I've lived in the same apartment for 32 years. And we have a new landlord, and she's been hideous. Done everything in the book to try to get everybody out. She occupies all the apartments in the building, which is illegal. Well, today she sued me. She started a holdover petition against me to get me out for reasons other than I paid my rent. And that reason is that I've lived in this apartment for 34 years. I'm a rent stabilized tenant. I don't pay that much money comparative to the market rate. And her way to get me out was, I have this roof deck actually right behind me. And it was built by my previous landlord before I took tenancy of this apartment. And I rented this apartment, 2-bedroom apartment with a roof deck in 1993. Great, fantastic, rent stabilized. Isn't that great? So when my landlord died, she got the building and decided to get rid of the guy on the first floor, try to get rid of my elderly neighbor, and then started a million little proceedings against me. She tried to get it condemned. She failed. It was thrown out by the buildings department. And so she's now just throwing as much stuff at me as she possibly can. And a couple of other things. She also had extermination done on my building a couple of weeks ago, which I'm looking into for various reasons, because I was not warned of it, nor was I told of it. I just found out about it after the fact. Unbelievable shit. So that's why I'm a little bit late, because I had to process that. So Steve Ritter's in the room. Hey, Steve Ritter. Cheers, Dirk. It's just more stuff. So now I have to go to court in April 1st, April Fool's Day. What a great April Fool's joke. I should try to deal with this purveyor of evil. What are her reasons? She doesn't have one. We've done nothing. We've paid our rent and we've lived in our apartment that we have not altered in any way, shape, or form. It's just the same apartment we've always lived in. Haven't changed a thing other than maybe a faucet here or a faucet there or painting a ceiling or caulking a bathtub. As a matter of fact, I've never been one of those guys that's asked my landlord for very much repair wise. We're pretty handy in our own way, but we've never done anything massive. So, she's just whatever. She's one of those people. So now it's just rally the lawyers together and throw them at her and blah, blah, blah. But it's whatever Wednesdays, which means it's unscripted. So you're going to control the tenor and the conversation today, and we can talk about anything you want. It could be about watches, cars. Ask Dirk any question you want about music. Laverne, anything you could possibly want. And that's it. Here it is. It is Carolyn Martin. Officially, I really don't like this lady. I think it's time I introduced myself to her in the most polite way my fist can allow. Yeah, well, we had a little conversation earlier, the beautiful Carolyn Martin and I, and that was before I had a tap, tap, tap on my door, which means they let him in the building too, the guy that served me, which very interesting. I'm not that rattled by it because I knew this was probably coming because she's been trying everything she possibly could. But she didn't offer us a new lease, which is her legal duty when you're a rent stabilized tenant in New York City. You are entitled to a 1 or 2 year lease. You elect which one you choose. And she refuses to, based on the grounds that we violated our lease somehow by just living here. She thinks that deck is a violation of the lease. It's not a violation of the lease. We've had it the whole time. So she'll find out in court. Steve Ritter says, taking my first flight to Europe at the end of May, Amsterdam and Norway. Congratulations. If there's one thing I must say, and this, of course, does not count all of my European friends who are already there, I can't stress enough to especially Americans and our Canadian brothers and sisters, the greatest thing you could possibly do is travel. I was extremely fortunate growing up with a dad who was with American Airlines, as you all know. So travel for us was very easy. So I was pulled to all corners of the earth from a very young child, the time I was a boy. And while I was probably screamed and moaned and complained about it, I cannot be more grateful to my parents for showing us different cultures of the world and eating waffles in Belgium and, bangers and mash in London and Ireland, spent half of our youth there. But we got to see, I must have been in Germany and Iceland. I've been to Greenland more than once. I remember landing in Nuuk, because I'm old enough to know when planes were smaller. Well, actually, planes were bigger back when I was a boy. They were 747s, DC-10s, and stuff. But we often flew on 707s and smaller jets. And sometimes we would stop in Newfoundland, we'd stop in Gander, we'd stop in Greenland, Reykjavik. And on our way, I don't know why, it's just the way my father routed us. Maybe it was just because you do pay when you're an airline employee, but it's a very minimal amount of money. So maybe he just did it that way. I remember flying on Lufthansa a whole lot when we were kids. And I just remember the different smells and looks of different airlines. That's why I've been obsessed with airline culture probably my entire life. But I can't stress enough how great it is to go to Europe. And Steve, I'm so excited for you. So many things for you to see. Norway, you're going to see the Northern Lights, obviously. And if you don't, get in a car and ask people where it is, where you can, I guess you go to Trondheim or somewhere north. You have to go pretty north in order to catch the Northern Lights. Amsterdam, just be careful in that town because it's a touristy town and there is a drug culture there. And along with the drug culture that comes, and I'm not saying it's a crime-riddled city. I'm just saying if you look for trouble, you will find trouble. And that's true of anyone in any city of the world, New York included. Ask me. I grew up here. But my mother always taught me never to look for trouble. So luckily, I never was. But I have had friends who have come into town, been looking for a little bit of trouble, and wound up in a lot of trouble. And that can happen to you in Amsterdam, because it is a very free flowing, friendly drug culture. And I can get you this, or I can get you that. You want to go to a party? I know a lot of situations there, but it is absolutely immeasurably beautiful. There's so many things to do. I would suggest, number one, to, of course, go to the Hague, go to the museum, go to Anne Frank's house. I was going to say the Rijksmuseum, but I think I always say that incorrectly, right? Is it the Rijksmuseum or the Rijksmuseum? Beautiful. And if you get a chance, go to Rotterdam and stay aboard the Rotterdam, which was the flag carrier ocean liner for the Netherlands, and it is the sister ship of our SS United States. As you know, we are, especially Paul is so intimately involved. He is the New York chapter chairman of the SSUSC, the SS United States Conservancy. We've been trying to save America's flagship ocean liner, the most important passenger liner ever built in the United States, fastest ship ever to cross the Atlantic in both directions, the holder of the Blue Riband. We've been trying to save her for years. She's been languishing in Philadelphia. She's about to lose her lease, but she does have some great plans, some fantastic plans. We have a couple of partners that are ready to turn her into like the TWA. As a matter of fact, it's the same partners. Turn her into like a TWA hotel, preserve her, renovate her, turn her to a museum, nautical museum, maritime museum, shopping esplanades, hotels, etc., and more. But it's really fantastic. And all great stuff. Europe. I love everything about Europe. Go as many times as you can. Andrew says, R.E., my landlord, she's probably trying to drive you to bankruptcy with legal fees, or drive you on her shared journey into madness. Well, she's one of these people that I've watched her do it to my 87-year-old neighbor and my neighbor downstairs. She basically threatened us many times. She's called me a couple of choice words, which I filed a police report against her. Some hate speech, which was not very fun. And she's done everything she can, thinking, oh, we'll just give up and go. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cave. She can go straight to hell. Nick Sisto. Hey, Nick's at $25. Whoa. Screw that. You get the super mega chat explosion, nuclear explosion. Thank you so much for that, Nick. Nick is also one of my Patreons, and it's in the description on YouTube. And I can't thank my Patreon members enough, as I can't thank all of you enough for the kindness I still receive every single day, regardless of whether it's about me, Paul, or our beautiful beloved Laverne, who I miss every single second of the day. Still trying to figure out how to traverse my own home without her under my feet, and begging for things, and looking for my time. Crazy, Vasilios P is here. He says, good evening to all. Gem hater. Nowadays in Amsterdam, there's zero tolerance policy for foreign hooligans and trouble. I'm glad to hear it, because I'll tell you privately, because when I toured with my band Hitman, oftentimes we would fly into Schiphol. Can you pronounce that for me correctly? Because I hear Schiphol. I want to make sure I say that right. It's one of the most beautiful airports, and the blueprint for the modern airports of the world. It was the first modern airport where they figured out things down to there's little flies in the urinals there. So, because guys have bad aim when they pee, as ridiculous as that sounds, but that's what the Dutch did. They thought it through, and they were like, this is how we're going to make the bathrooms cleaner. And apparently it's done a great job. Beautiful airport. I'm glad to hear it, because I have my good friends Kate and Carl, who are, adults of a certain means. They stay in the best places and they do the best things, and they wound up in a whole heap of trouble just because somebody offered them some kindness. And like I said, that can happen anywhere, but I'm so glad to hear that, because I got in a very small situation one time when I was in Amsterdam, and maybe then my New York smarts just set my hair alight, and I just got the hell out of there. Also, you just got to have a kind of speedy sense, which I definitely think I have. Glad to hear it, Jem, because it is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Steve says, I've been to Canada and Mexico. You know what? I'm going to make an admission here. Canada, I have been to, and I love it very much. I love going to Montreal and Quebec City, beautiful sister country. I've not been to Toronto, and I would love to, or Toronto, as the natives say, home of Rush. I have technically been to Mexico, but not. Many, many moons ago, my then manager, Bill Plotkin, and I went on a trip. We were in Los Angeles. And this was during the time that my band was new and we had some, some interest, and we went to meet with all the labels, went to Capitol and Atlantic and whoever was happening in LA. And there was a label that was actually in Orange County. And we drove down there and he said, hey, my sister lives in San Diego. Let's go there. And while we're there, let's go to Mexico. So I have been to Tijuana. I know that is technically Mexico, but it doesn't really count, does it? All the Mexican bastards out there can tell me that it's not true. But I went. So I've never been to Mexico for a holiday or a beach holiday or any of the big, resort towns. I'd like to. One of these days I will. Mark Sherrard says, Berlin, man. Can I tell you how much I love Berlin? Being a New Yorker, you love a city with a gritty side. And, Berlin being on the other side of the wall, so to speak, was very exciting when I went there in 1993. I just found it fascinating, absolutely fascinating city. So much culture to be had, great music scene. And at one time it was one of the most inexpensive places to find a great apartment. I'm sure that's changed, as have most places in the world. And Mark says he's just returned from Berlin, a beautiful city with a lot of checkered history. Well, of course, Berlin being the capital of, it was the capital of Germany, and then it wasn't. Then it was the capital of Eastern Germany. What became the capital of Germany? Was it Bonn? Did Bonn become the capital of West Germany? Someone fact check me on that, because I'm pretty sure it's Bonn, but I'm not sure. Mark Gerard says, I'm going to Japan soon. Hey, planning on picking up a Seiko or Grand Seiko over there, and as a keepsake of the trip and my first time to Asia. What an exciting thing to go see this amazing Asian culture of innovation and humanity. The Japanese are a step ahead in terms of technology. You're going to see a lot of robots, a lot of automated things, a lot of crazy behavior when it comes to drinking and smoking, because they all do it. But there's rules galore. There's rules everywhere. Can you, Mark Sherrard, can you please let us know when you're going and give us a detail, and maybe I will assign you. If you want, you could be like a traveling bastard. You shoot some footage, shoot it on over to me, and do a little travelogue, because I think a lot of people would love to see what's going on that far away in the world. It's totally like being on another planet. So I think that would be great. So if you think you can do that, it would be great. Selena, hi, darling. The landlord sounds awful. Sorry for the added torment. What else is new? My beautiful sister, who accompanied me yesterday for our final goodbye to Laverne. I wouldn't have had it any other way. Yeah. I didn't even realize that you said contribution towards Dirk's legal fund. Great. Yeah, here we go again on my own. Scotty H, $9.99. If I were a lawyer or an assassin, I would help you out for free. That's been thought. Lord H with the incredible super chat. Yeah, I mean, what makes people think? I've tried to put myself in her mindset. So she bought this building, my building, and the building next door to me. And they're kind of attached, and my deck is on the roof of that building. And she bought both buildings. First, she said she didn't own the building next door. That's why the deck had to go. Oh, I don't own it. It's some Greek guy. And we knew she bought it because my brother is a realtor and he told me everything. So I knew all the information. I knew everything. And she just has been lying. And she called me and said, I'm going to build you a roof deck on the roof and blah, blah, blah. And then she sent me a lease digitally and didn't send me the hard copy. Now, you can't send do a lease digitally unless both parties have signed off on the fact that you're now doing a digital DocuSign thing. Never did that. So she never sent me the hard lease. So we signed it and sent it and slipped it under door, photographed it, the whole thing. And she still continued to take the new rent money and then decided, well, the only way I'm going to do this, I'm going to sue them and get them out, which is a load of crap. Dean, the triangle is the best. Hey, is that what you want? You want the triangle? You like the mini triangle, right? For you, Dean. I love that one too. It's popular. It's very, very popular. Hey, Tobster McDonkey. Welcome back, my friend Tobster McDonkey. Europe is cool except when they can arrest you for criticizing illegal immigration or transgender child grooming in digital signage or verbally. So 1984. I don't know where that happens. Have you been to Europe? I don't know if that happens there. Well, I'm connected with, Europe in a very first person-y way. I don't know. I think you can say a lot more there than you can say here nowadays. I think we've reverted to this place where you can't even say him or her. You can get in trouble. Tobster Gun says Scotland's new hate crime law is scary as you know what, 1984 level tyranny. I don't know anyone who feels like they're. I think Americans feel far more under the fist of tyranny than Europeans do. I just think that's true. And you European bastards, you can chime in on that. I don't think anybody really feels that way. Maybe people in Saudi Arabia feel that way. JBB, were is correct or was correct. I'm not reading all the chats. So, and I'm one of those douches who definitely corrects, like it's whom, not who, but not in this particular forum. The triangle's like a cheap McDonald's meal. Well, you know what? You get it again. You get it twice because you're a sport there, Dean. Tobster also says, bring it on, Tobster. You know how much I love you. Serving time for spicy memes. Thank God for free speech, which Europe does not have. Europe does have free speech. I don't know where you get that notion. They do have free speech. I don't think we have it here anymore. People get, arrested for everything. I don't know. Does anybody agree with that? Does anybody agree that there's no free speech? We say we have free speech here, but man, you say one thing cuckoo here and you get in trouble. Rufus, $4.99. Let's Lynch the Landlord song comes to mind by the Dead Caddies. I don't know that particular song, but let's give it a boom. That one is pretty great, right? I like doing that one too. I love the Maestro one, but let's save that for the big time. Jem Hader says Berlin has the best techno scene. What did I do when I was in Berlin? I mean, I'm not a discotheque kind of fella. I am more of a coffee, church, history. But it's fun to see. Okay, so I'll tell you a funny story about. Wasn't in Berlin though. Where was it? So we were on tour. And one night the crew were going out, and I'm Dirk the singer who didn't go out with people for beers. I've to this day, I've never had a beer in Germany. Oh wait, I take it back. I had a beer with our band after the festival because it was only one show and the show was done. So I did have a beer. I thought I could say that, but I can't. It was me and two of the guys in the crew. I believe John, my guitar player, and a couple of guys from the other band. And they said, hey, we want to show you something funny. And they took us to a club, and it was down the wet steps. And it was dark and scary and chilly. And it was a Gummi club. And I said, what does that mean? And Gummi is German for rubber. And I went, well, why is there a club for rubber? I'm thinking there's going to be tires. And it was like a molten rubber club where they had beautiful ladies laying down, and it's like when you pour candle wax on a person. And I guess it was cool enough to not burn them, but they would create like art with these in an erotic way if you're into that kind of stuff, which I'm not. It was fascinating for about 10 minutes, and then I got the out of there because it was so weird. Weird. Yeah. Ray, hey Dirk, sorry I'm late. Never be sorry, Ray. We're thinking about you all day yesterday. Uh, again, love you, man. I was out collecting outstanding debts I've been owed for ages. Good for you. Good for you. Because you know what? If you borrow money from somebody, you pay it back. So, that's part of the whole kindness thing when people are kind to people. Does anybody watch murder shows? Paul's obsessed with murder shows. We're watching a show today about this guy who won the lottery. And it turns out he was kind of like a backwoods Floridian guy who didn't know how to read and write, and he won $30 million in the lottery. And he was giving away so much money. And then this one girl showed up and she goes, I'm going to help you with your money. You're giving away too much stuff. She murdered him for the money. And he had lent all these people so much money. I guess when you win the lottery, you should just give people money because you can't expect people to pay you back. I don't particularly like lending money. I'd prefer just giving it because you know what? It's like it's much easier to give than to expect it back. If you can't, you can't. If you can, you can. And that's great. And, my family and friends, we have a never ending, bank thing, whoever needs it, whatever. And it's like no questions asked. And it's much easier that way. But good for you, because when people borrow money, they should pay you back because you know what? You made a sacrifice for them. Scotty H, Lord H, PayPal, as he does all the time. You are such a legendary guy. I can't thank you enough for that. And for that, you get the gong. You want to go da 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 da, but you probably get in trouble for that, right, Toadster? I'd probably get in trouble for that because you can't even do that. You can't even, and that's a cool song. It just means something from the Far East. It's exotic. Maybe it's not exotic anymore. I don't know. I think it is. Where are we? God, these are moving so fast. You guys are so fast today. Wednesday is like the day. Here we go. Best techno scene, Marty Mannion says Bon. Yes, okay, I was pretty sure. And Bon, because who was born? Was Bach born in Bonn? I feel like I need to look that up. Bach, birthplace. I always thought it was Bonn, but I'm probably wrong. Eisenach. Johann Sebastian Bach was born in Eisenach, Germany. Where is that? I don't know why. Oh, not even close. Well, I stand corrected. We had a library in my Catholic school growing up, and I was obsessed with Johann Sebastian Bach. I guess I forgot a bunch about it. James Bond. What do you guys? So you guys turned me on to the fact that Aaron Taylor Johnson is now unofficially the contract's on the table. He just hasn't signed it yet. Of course, he's going to. Why wouldn't he? How do you feel about that guy? You know what? I thought, okay, he looks good.
And then I heard his voice. He's got kind of a follow the yellow brick road kind of voice, As coroner, I've thought of it, I've thoroughly examined her.
He sounds like one of the Munchkins. He's a high talker if you listen to Seinfeld. Andy Dufresne. Next trip to Chicago in April. I love Chicago. If I had to live in another major American city, it would be that one. Not in the winter. I used to love San Francisco. I don't anymore. It's just gotten really shitty. And no offense to San Francisco. It's a beautiful city. It's just I have personal memories about that place. I don't want anything to do with. Angelo Minichello, Canadian $10. Dirk, best of luck with your landlord. Sent you some amazing pics of the new watch coming my way soon, as we will adorn the YouTube screens with very soon. So if you haven't already sent your pictures, please send them to basherdirk@gmail.com. We'll discuss. We'll have coffee. We'll talk about it. Your kids, your cars, your cats, your dogs, your watches. It all starts with watches because we all love watches, right? But sometimes, it's really funny, and I'm not kidding you, and this is going to sound funny. But, when I was in the animal medical center, it's so expensive. And you get to the point where you're just out of money. And I was thinking to myself, fucking take that watch off, left the watch at home because I'm thinking I almost felt like a dick walking around with a fucking Rolex on my arm because it made me feel like such a hypocrite. I didn't pay for it. I bought, it was a gift from the incredible watch world, from the beautiful people, and I'm grateful for it. And I've got my Speedy, but that looks like a very expensive watch too. That was also a gift from Machine. So anyway, isn't it weird how it can do that? You can feel like I wasn't trying to lowball them, but I was just like, listen, can I, you know what I mean when you're in a situation like that, you're just trying to figure out how to expeditiously handle finances. Anyway, Gem Hater says, if I'm not mistaken, their club scene is now recognized as cultural patrimony. Could be true. Big Papa, I went to Berlin before the wall came down. Ooh, Checkpoint Charlie, an experience I will never forget. I really, no, obviously when I was in Germany as a kid, we never did that because there's no way we would have got in there. I think we were in Hamburg and Frankfurt. That's the big airport that everybody flies into. But wow, that must have been exciting. Yeah, anybody ever see that movie, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind? I believe it was George Clooney's directorial debut, and it is about a comedian named Chuck Barris who hosted a show called The Gong Show. And it was a talent show. And if you got a bad score, somebody would gong you. And it turns out he claimed in his memoir that he was a spy for the CIA. And this movie is all about that, which I think is freaking amazing if that's true. I don't know that it is, but it might very well be. I'm just trying to catch up because you guys are so fast today. Just so fast. The chats are going super cuckoo. Al Benedetti, on Sunday, I made a donation in Laverne's memory to Every Cat Health Foundation, a great nonprofit focused solely on feline health. The one only. Oh my God, Every Cat Health Foundation. I don't know of it, but I'm gonna research it tonight, and I will do the same because I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. They said it could have been rodenticide, which I'm fully blaming on who. And if that's the case, then we will have our day. It could have been bone marrow cancer, but it wouldn't have happened that fast. We did so much testing on her. We did everything but drill a hole into her bones to get her bone marrow out because I said no. I just said, no, I'm not putting her through that. And she was in pretty good shape. At that point, I just didn't want her to go through that. That's like a spinal tap for a person. I'm not doing that. I would never do it. And I didn't. Mark Sherrard, I will try and grab some shots for you, Dirk. Some travel vlog. I will be headed there in a few days. Yeah. So send it to, basherdirk@gmail.com. I'll put that back up for everybody. Of course, send your shots so we can discuss them later. Hey, man, just send me some stuff and I will put it on the channel and you just, narrate it and tell us, show us what you're doing. Show us what you're eating, where you're going, all the sights in the beautiful city of Berlin. We would be very excited if you did that. So please do that. Mark Wild says, it sounds like you're the little guy in the movie Up. What a great movie. I'm not a big cartoon guy, and it's funny. I always hem and haw before cartoon movies, if they can be called cartoon movies, because they're not. They're super animation. My favorite movie of the last 20 years is WALL-E. I thought that was one of the most. It's a silent film for the first hour. There's absolutely there's no dialogue at all, just the roach making some noise. Absolutely beautiful film. Mark Sherrard says, Europe is not like Tobster says, in my opinion, North America is much more restrictive. Yeah, it's on the books that we can open up our mouths, but we can't because the second somebody opens up their mouth, they're all over the press and then they're canceled. Whilst the government might not care after you, local legislation will. So it's getting to the point now where I think that Europe is a far more civilized, open society. I don't know where you get that, but you might read that, but if you go there, that's not true. Andrew says she's probably planning on getting empty. Of course she is. That's exactly what she's doing. She wants to empty all the buildings and rip everything down for a high rise. She definitely is, and she doesn't want to pay anybody to do that. In New York City, not that I'm asking for, because I had no plans on even with the Italian dream, I don't plan on giving up my apartment. This is my rent stabilized apartment in New York City. Everybody wants one, and I have one. And she's trying to defraud me of that. Yeah, that's of course what she wants to do. She owns a bunch of restaurants. She wants to, put a restaurant in here and have her whole, every single member of her family living in the building, which she has now, which is completely illegal. Rent stabilized apartments have to stay rent stabilized, and on the market, you're only allowed to use them for your family. You're only allowed one unit, and she's got 4 of them. Le Carré says some law in Scotland is not all Europe. Well, I don't even know if that's true. In Scotland, they drink too much. There's no way that they would get in trouble for stuff. Topster, look up Canada's new proposed law, C63. Oh, that sounds scary, Andrew. You're in Canada. You would know. Topster says the UK and Scotland have a myriad of speech laws. The Scotland hate crime law just passed this week. Tweets, memes, text, stickers, anything that could intentionally cause harm is illegal with prison. Yeah, well, that's true here too. You say any of that stuff, you say anything, except my landlord who called me and Paul faggots, and I called the police and I filed a hate crime report against her. And what did she do? They closed it. She, that's how it works. Mark Sherrod says free speech way worse in Canada than Europe. Oh, is that right? Yeah. Everybody's just trying to be so PC. At least we don't burn books in Europe. We do not. You want to hear something really stupid? We were out in the Hamptons yesterday. You know why? Not for shopping or luxury anything. And we're walking down their main street, and there was a boutique, and it was called Fahrenheit 451. Did they read that book? Did they read that book? Why would you call like a women's clothing boutique Fahrenheit 451? Bizarre. Adrian Rader says, not at all. Europe is free and open as ever. I think the U.S. may be leaning more towards tyranny than Europe ever has, and most all Europeans would agree. I think it's true, buddy. I spent a lot of time in Europe, and all my European friends, I don't know any of that, but in the States, man, you open up your big trap, you say anything crazy, and crazy. The United States is slowly becoming a very closed nation, and we're just gonna put up those walls and don't let anybody in. Dean, does that mean I am in debt for one triangle? No. No. I gave you dual triangles because of the love I feel from you. Ray, good evening. Hey, Ray, we love you so much, Ray, out there on your own, and we're hoping that I know what you're going through, man. I know what you're going through, and it's just the worst. Andrew Wolkowicz, $20,000 fine for offending someone, up to life in prison if the powers that be think you might reoffend. Okay, I'm gonna go look that up. What does that mean? Like you're a dickhead. I don't like you. You're what is the offending someone? What is it? What is the offense? What do we say? You're a poopy pants. You're a poopy pants. Or is it, something like what my landlord called me? Because that's offensive. She got to say it. Well, the police were very nice about it, but ultimately nothing happened. Mark, wild. Berlin Cathedral is the most incredible but scary organ. There's nothing better than a scary. The organs in Germany, the organs in Germany are so loud it creates was like nothing else. I love churches, and I love going to all the churches of the world and seeing all the incredible architecture. And I'm so happy that Notre Dame got privately funded and people can't yell it. Because listen, I know a lot of people out there who are saying, don't waste money on a church. It's a national monument. It's a building that means a lot of stuff to a lot of people, and it was privately funded. And if you've got money and you want to give it to somebody, do that. I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with giving stuff away to people who don't deserve it. I think that, if the Eiffel Tower fell down, you should fix it. If the Statue of Liberty fell down, you should fix it. I just like the way they went about it. It seems pretty good. I just watched a whole documentary on some people. Some of the contributions were absolutely outrageous. Selena might be going to Mexico City for a wedding. If I can get away from home, we'll definitely watch window shopping. That is a city I have always wanted to see, as my dear friend Emmett O'Malley has constantly toured there and said it is one of the most magnificent cities he has ever stepped foot in. Culturally, architecturally, their cuisine is unparalleled. It's a place I would really, really, really love to see. Nathaniel Hannon, $4.99. Berlin's rave scene has been added to UNESCO World Heritage Sites list. Well, what does that mean? Like, what is a rave exactly? The rave is like a kind of like a guerrilla party. Like they just throw a party in a warehouse and everybody does drugs and gets high and dances and then they just remove it, right? Is that what it is? I'm not sure if I know what that is exactly. Toussaint Lou is here. Now I've got Phil Swift talking about Flex Seal. I don't know why you have that Flex Seal. Here's a funny story. Does anybody remember that super glue? And they're the two guys that used to spruik is an old word that's being reapplied in the internet world, in the YouTube world. There are these two guys that used to, this big bearded guy and then the skinny guy, Anthony something, and he's British. And they would talk about super glue, and they'd have a guy hanging from a girder. I had a friend who worked for the company that did the PR for that. And my friend Ricky, who's very gay and likes bears, said he had a crush on that guy. And I told her, and she got that guy, who is now deceased, to send him an autographed picture. And it might have been Flex Seal. I think it was Flex Seal. Anyway, I just thought that was a funny story. Andrew says, I found out years back when the money ran out, the friend stopped calling and disappeared. Well, that's, I'm so grateful I don't have that situation. I don't. I have the best friends ever. Gem Hater, thanks, Nathaniel. That's what I read. Deservedly so. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Toast from Donkey, everybody's favorite right-wing pundit, says, I'm going to see Kraftwerk at Disney Hall in May. Disney Hall is supposed to be so unbelievable. It's supposed to be the best sounding room in the world. The way they've built it, the way they've tuned it, it is supposed to be literally the best sounding room for music in the world. Good for you. I believe my dear friend Mimi has been to that venue and said so. Go, Moto Soto. I'm sure it's a 5-picture deal, so it sets him up financially. I guess we're talking about Aaron Taylor Johnson. We'll have a look at him in a minute, right? Celine says, San Francisco, not good, unfortunately. It's in bad shape right now. San Francisco flag, syringe sitting atop a pile of humans. Yeah, it's really gone. I'll never forget. We went there. Well, it was a long time ago now. And we stayed at a very nice place because my mother-in-law worked for a very big company and they got us a really great deal at a really cool hotel in Nob Hill. And they said, whatever you do, don't use the staircase, right? The pedestrian stairs that go, because, it was on a big hill. And then that was the end of the hill. They said, don't go down there to Chinatown because you might get killed and they won't get in trouble for it. I don't know what's going on there. It's just like Escape from San Francisco. Hunter Zangler has visited San Francisco in 2009 for the first time on the way back from working in New Zealand. I did a lot of work in San Francisco in the 90s, which is the reason why I have claimed that I'm the catalyst for Arnel Pineda being the singer in Journey. And that is because I worked for a woman who had a band out there that there was a singer, a guitar player, writer here in New York City. And he was kind of like a Tom Scholz guy. He did everything himself, but he needed a singer. Somebody recommended me. I went to his house. I sang on his demo. It worked out. And she managed him. She lived in San Francisco. She actually lived in something Creek. I had to take the BART to get there. And I did a lot of work out there. I sang on his record, his entire record, and we did it at Neil Sean's studio in Berkeley, California. And then we mixed it. We went to what was the name of that big studio? Fantasy Studios. And we did a ton of stuff there. We mixed it there and all this cool stuff. But we did stuff in Neil Sean's studio, and Neil Sean was there working with a band called Bad English. And they had When I See You Smile with John Waite. And that's when John Waite wasn't very nice to me, which was a shame because I fucking love him. He's one of my favorite singers. I love the Babies, one of my favorite bands. I just think he's so unique and great. He could have been having a bad day. I don't know. But anyway, I was talking to Neil, Sean, and Jonathan Kane, and I spent like 2 weeks in San Francisco on my own, seeing everything, going to Alcatraz. I did everything. It was so great. What a beautiful little microclimate. It's very kind of Irish in its way, where it's, everywhere else is hot and it's raining. I loved it. I think it's landscape wise one of the most beautiful places. Anyway, long story short, I had always had the contacts for those two guys because they liked what I did and they were nice to me and they were in bad English. So when my friend turned me on to this, they were from Jakarta, I believe. They were from Jakarta. I saw a gig of this band called The Zoo in Jakarta, and they were playing a Striper song. And my friend was like, "Can you believe how good this sounds?" I was like, "Where did you find this?" It had like 5 views, 6 views, no views. Then they did Faithfully by Journey. And I went, "Oh my God." I even called Paul and I said, "Listen to this guy. Holy shit. Journey should get this guy," because they had another guy named Steve Ojiri who they had just let go of. I said, "That's the guy they should get." So I wrote them a nice letter saying, "I know you guys don't want Steve Perry sound alike. Why would you? And this guy sounds a lot like Steve, but man, look at him. This is a natural. This guy's great." 2 weeks later, he was in the band. Never heard from them ever again. That was because of my San Francisco experience. Anyway, Frankfurt is a great airport to visit if you like animals like mice. I've been there so many times. I had a great breakfast there. They have these like little sleeping pods in the middle of the airport that you can just use. I don't know. I think it's okay. Angie Dufresne, driving down from Chicago to an Indianapolis area because of the upcoming eclipse. Prices for motels are ridiculous from the 8th to the 9th. I'll get to the end of the chats because there's something we need to talk about on the show, and I'm sure everybody knows. The Hamptons makes my balls sweat, says Hunter. Listen, me too. I was only there to cremate Laverne because the Bidewee is out there and they have a pet cemetery and they're the nicest, kindest people in the whole wide world. Topster says New York City just released 4 people with no bail law who had dismembered bodies in an apartment with meat cleavers. You think they're going to arrest your bitch landing for calling you the F word? Well, hey, that guy. You know what really drove me crazy? This guy. Oh, a CW watch enthusiast. It's Ferg and Lou, and you're in Venice right now. Are you meeting up with the big guy? Is that what are you doing that? Are you there right now? Let me send you the. Let me hit you up with the gong, baby. €2. Thank you so much for that. I just saw that. I'm looking at the mail and see that you're in Venice. Have you contacted the big guy? And are you meeting up? The F word is protected speech, man. Mean, harmful, but legal. Is that? I don't know that it is. I think we read different stuff. Andy Dufresne says, imagine if they wouldn't rebuild Notre Dame. You know what's really crazy? They rebuilt it in wood the exact same way. It's like almost like I wish they did it in titanium. I really do. Like the church in Cologne, Germany, right outside the train station. That I played in Cologne, and man, Köln, and oh wow, what a church that is. Tucson Lou says Billy Mays. That's exactly the guy I'm talking about. The big bearded guy who's a big hunky bear of a man. And my friend Ricky had a crush on him. And I got him an autograph to Rick. All the best from Billy Mays. He knew he had like some crazy gay following. And Anthony Sullivan was OxyClean. You guys are the best. You're the smartest people in the room. Yeah. Hunter Zangler says, yeah, I'm Bill. Dean, a rave is where you take ecstasy, LSD, 80s to 91. It was a blur for me, but fun. And Toussaint Lou says, Walnut Creek, and that is the place where I stayed. Selena says, can't wear anything nice in San Francisco, most of the Bay Area. And London, apparently. So this is what I want to do. I will just chit-chat really quickly while I find out. I didn't know about this. Isn't that crazy? Because, my life has been not so great. And I always said, if they did this, I want it. And apparently today they are doing it. Where is it? Yeah. So that's not it. I'm looking for it right now. Apparently the next swatch is a Snoopy. Apparently, I got kicked off. I don't know how I did that, but I apologize for that in the biggest way. I was trying to find the moon swatch. Apparently, they are doing a Snoopy moon phase moon swatch. So let me see if I can find this for y'all. This is the W swatch moon phase Snoopy. See if I can get it. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So let me share this. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, my friend. I hit the back button, I think. Spoiler alert, this Swatch Snoopy Moon Swatch with Moon Phase is going to appear. It's going to be at Watches and Wonders. So look out, man. They're putting out a moon swatch with a moon phase that glows in the dark. I think that is really going to be a big, 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 big seller. And I really want one. I really want one. Isn't that crazy? I want one. And I'll wear that all the time because, for one, I love Snoopy and I would have loved one of those Snoopy watches, but holy crap, man, you can't get them. The red screen. Yeah, I got the red screen because I disappeared. I must have hit the back button, something that can happen. Yeah. So, yeah, the Snoopy swatches, Gem. That's so exciting. Lord H says, Dirk, come back. I'm always afraid that when I do come back, that it'll end the stream, because that can happen. Thank God. Don't be pulling the Kaiser Soze. I certainly didn't. But that's very cool. Anyway, let's get to everybody's shots of the day, starting with Gem Hater, because you're here, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. Look at that. We've got one of the most beautiful aquaterras there is in the whole wide world, and that is a Longines. I don't know the model on that. It's a tank with small seconds, but man, I love it. Isn't that beautiful on the lady? Looking great on your big hairy wrists. What a beautiful watch. The Aquaterra, man. It's one of my favorites. Absolutely favorite. I love it. Dean says Snoopy swatch, definitely a 5-year wait list. Yeah, fuck that. If that's the case, I'm camping overnight because I want that. I don't camp overnight for anything. But you know what? I have a channel now. Maybe I can have one. There's 2 sets of pictures here. Why am I only seeing one here, mister? There it is. Look at that. Look how great that looks. One of the most beautiful bracelets. What a watch to get, man. Well, I also love that Longines. Longines is a brand that I absolutely adore, and I don't think they get it anywhere near enough love. Isn't that beautiful? That might be my favorite color of the Aquaterra, other than the green one, which I turned down famously. I turned it down. I turned it down in lieu of that. So therefore, I don't feel so bad. I don't. Who cares? Who cares? I don't feel so bad about that. My humor's coming back slightly, but surely. Ain't easy. Angelo Minichello with some very interesting shots. Let's see him, kiddo. Yeah, what is that? What is this thing? It's cool. It looks like it's got a face. Oh, wow. What is that? I mean, I take that over Richard Mille. Is that a Rado? Is that a Rado? Holy Christ. Wow. Scotty H says, Gonzo stream if you camp out. You freaking know it, dude. First of all, I wouldn't be doing it alone. I would be doing it with some other folks who you know. And we just bring our chargers with us. It would be one big live stream for the whole thing. Are you kidding me? That's definitely going to happen. Definitely. Gem Hater says saffron for that. This is beautiful, man. What the hell is that? Did you write in the... Oh, it's the Radcliffe Linverse Aquilin. Wow, man, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I don't know how you tell the time, but it's certainly beautiful. Steve McDonald. Let's see your wares. Here's Hamilton Automatic. That is absolutely look. That is a dress watch from hell, man. Look at that. Date, small seconds, chronograph. Wow. God, that gold is beautiful. I'm assuming I can't tell if that's rose gold or you're at dusk or dawn. I'm imagining it's dusk. Is that rose gold? It is absolutely beautiful. Is there more than one shot? Okay, you have another Hamilton. Hamiltons are great. You do wear your watches very tight. I will say that. You do. Very tight. You have a big wrist, my friend. You're a big hunk of a beastie man. But it looks like you wear your watches tight. You just like them secure. I just recently took the link out. I had taken a link out of my oyster bracelet, and Emmett was here and he went to try it on and it didn't fit. And I said, you know what? It's too tight on me right now anyway, because I use the easy link and it's perfect. And, you know, now I have one link taken out of this, and that's all. And it fits perfectly. But when I took two out, it was so tight. I just thought it was like a cold day, and I don't know why I did that. Anyway, I'm just saying. I love you, Steve. I think you're an incredible hunk of a geezer, man, but I think that's a little bit tight. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let me get that out of there. Did I see the other one? I did, yes. Hamilton's galore. Fergal with some Venice shots. Oh, with his Mark II, and you know how I feel about that. Fergal. It's funny. Paul didn't know the name Fergal was a name until he saw. I don't know how he didn't know that. I don't have any Fergals in my family. I have a lot of Rorys. Until Catastrophe. Sharon Horgan's brothers, Fergal. Look at this. The racing Mark II. I love this watch. Absolutely great. Look at that. And it looks to me like I know where everything is. Oh, look at that. Look at you. You're on the roof of the. Oh, yeah. There's the bridge's size. And that's the Rialto Bridge. I'm assuming you went to the top of that very fancy department store where they have lots of great stuff. Oh, Frollo! Did you get a Frollo? Look at you. Oh, look, you got lots of this. Isn't that great? That's the marketplace down there where they have the big meats and fish and all that stuff. Big Mercato. Right on that bend on the Grand Canal. Oh, nice. That's somebody's house, by the way. Isn't that funny? That's somebody's house. Somebody lives there. It's great. Oh, yeah. Look at you. Fantastic. Venice is my happy place, man. It is my happy place. When I go there, I am happy. I will say I am happy when I go there. Tobster, Matt. Oh, yeah, looking this great. Ooh, with his very fancy stuff. Let's go look at his studio. Fuck the watch. I'm looking at the gear, bro. Looks great. Of course, he's got an Explorer. Looking great on his wrist. Looking perfect on your wrist, man. Who you got there? Oh, there's the Trumpster. And Savage. Look at this crazy action he's got going on here. Oh, he's got a nice little pen collection. Do you have any of the beautiful watches from RPG pen collection? Look at that. That's great. Is there more than one? Send me more pictures from you, Tobster McDonkey. He's a Windows guy. You're a Windows guy. Once you go Mac, man, you never go back. Just how it works. That's an old joke. Who else we have in the picture galore? Mark Wilde. Oh, what a great shot, man. Let's enjoy this, each and every one of us. This is a man and his dog. Great shot. What a beautiful pup. Look at that. Handsome fella. Great teeth. What a smile on you. Jesus. I've been having so much dental work done. It might be too much, too little, too late because I was avoiding the dentist for so long. But I had a bagel yesterday and my teeth hurt. My teeth hurt from the bagel. But look at you with that $1 million smile and your $1 million pup. Beautiful, man. Embrace the love while you have it because it's the greatest thing that could ever happen. Boris is 13 tomorrow. Can we do that again? Let's get that back. Let's get that back. Let's get that back and celebrate you, my friend. Boris, that's Boris. He's 13 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Boris. We love you. Here at the Bashers. Here at the Bashers. Ray. Ray's got some drunken nautical shots. Let's have a looky there. How the hell did that happen? Did somebody went to go take a pee when they were drunk on the dock and they leaned on it, right? That's unbelievable. And his Seiko Sports Automatic 10 bar. Look at that. I like how you have it covering the date. I've never seen it in that pose. It's a great watch. I love it. Thank you, Ray Ray. We're feeling for you today, man. Everybody send all the love Ray Ray's way. Oh, did I miss two? I did. I got it. Here's another one from Ray Ray. Oh, he's got a picture of a shark. You're going to need a bigger boat, my friend. You're going to need a bigger boat. That is, oh boy. It's out off the coast of Ireland. Unbelievable. And that was, oh, it's a whale. Sorry about that. Speaking of travel, let's have a looky poo at your, is that your lady friend having a yoga repose? Is this Hawaii? Where is this, my friend? That's beautiful. Wow, look at that sunset. Best sunset I ever saw in my life was in Croatia. I'll find those. Oh, that's Mazatlan. Thank you, Vaughn, very much. Hudson Harvey's here, and he says, you got to love Tissot. I love Tissot. I think that's a great brand. I think it doesn't get enough love anywhere on this channel or any other channel. Look at that thing. That is absolutely stunning, man. Look at that. I'd wear that in a heartbeat. I love this watch. It's great looking, great loom. Looks great on a NATO. Oh, you got a Bark. What'd you get from Bark and Jack? Is that a Bark and Jack strap? Good for him, Adrian. Yeah, he hasn't done that much lately. He does one video and it explodes because, you know, he's Adrian. That's amazing. And Subi Night, Just Martin. Look at this. Well, we're going to end the picture night with one of the most classic things in the whole wide world, right? Isn't that nice? With the sub, no date, just like Emmett O'Malley has. And that looks great on your wrist. You got to have a certain kind of wrist to pull that watch off in the travel pouch, in the I have, what do I have? I have the Omega version of that. Sorry, I have the Omega version of that. I want that. I want that, the service pouch. Doesn't that look great? This is my Omega one, which I think is sexy. And I do use this. If I travel, when I travel, which is not very much anymore, I might travel now because I might have nothing at home. Nobody to protect anymore. You know, maybe I'll just grab a weekend and go see Ush. You know, why not? Where were we in the comments? Gonzo Stream, Saffron. I just want to catch up to you guys because I was looking at all that stuff. Andy Dufresne says it's the 214270 Mark II. I might be. I know I'm the serial number. I'm the model guy on that, but the Mark II do throw me for a loop. I have to translate it in my head. It's like French to German. I have to do that first. All the software I use for work is PC. Yeah, well, you know, when you're in the business world, it's all PC. Dean was not my Omega. I think it was salmon colored. I think they do call it salmon. I think that they do. Here's two things. Yeah. Dirk Leo of Radker has resigned. You should become our new Taoiseach. Yeah, right, Kennedy. Right. It'd be the perfect Taoiseach for Ireland, wouldn't I? Yeah, why not? Right. I could live in Dublin and I mean, God knows they hired him. I mean, Jesus Christ. Look at poor Great Britain and all the prime ministers they've gone through. Holy shit. I mean, you know, of course, as an Irishman, I can't like the Iron Lady, but you know, they had so many strong leaders for the longest time, and now it's just a revolving door of shit blasts because they can't just nobody can just act like a normal person. Yeah, he say why? Did Leo say why? I can't imagine. I know he wasn't very well liked. The immigration situation in Ireland is out of control. People are rebelling, and people are angry, and people forget about the Irish diaspora, and you know, Ireland of the welcomes and all of that stuff within limits. Of course, we all know that. Gem Hater says it was the Aquaterra shades. Oh, it's called saffron, huh? Yeah. Kieran says that Aquaterra, the Tiso, is a beaut. Absolutely agreed. Le Carre says, remember to like and subscribe if you can on this channel. I come to you every single day with my heart in my hand and my foot in my mouth, oftentimes. And you guys are the most beautiful, loving, and incredible bunch of bastards I've ever met. I am incredibly blessed to have started doing this thanks to Asheen and people like Carolyn Martin, who urged me to get on with this show on a daily basis due to circumstances opening up my schedule. And I am so grateful to them that I did. I am so grateful that you were here for me during a very rough period of time for me. And like people were surprised I went and did a show. One guy was like, "Does everything have to be on social media?" Like, I'm not that guy. I don't share. I'm very honest with stuff. I'm not trying to sensationalize and sell products, and I'm not trying to do any of that stuff. But I think we are all sharing so much in this community because it's a community of beautiful people, kindness. Spread the kindness, spread the love, man, because that's what it's worth, and I love it so much. Thank you for all of that. Ray says, "'Twas a fin whale just cruising by. Isn't that great? And you captured it." Leah Radico's idol is Margaret Thatcher. No joke. Well, that's great. Good. Jesus. I reckon they forced him out after the failed referendum a couple weeks. That's probably what it is. Kaloy says, "Upvote for Mr. Dirk. Please do with his meteorite dial date. Look at that thing. It's crazy." Chili Badger says, "Dirk, I'm wearing the same Milgauss. Are you tempted to add the Z-Blue?" I'm not. You know what I'm tempted to? I'm tempted to add the white dial. How about that, Chili Badger? I'm somewhat crazy about the white dial. It doesn't have the green crystal, obviously. However, Watches and Wonders is a couple of minutes away, right? And listen, Rolex could very well put out a new Milgauss. It'll be the Milgauss Plus. What is the Latin word for 1,000, a million, or a magnetic? They could very, 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 very well come out with a new one that we might all go crazy for. This is discontinued. This is just, this is going nowhere. The Z Blue, I do love the Z Blue. It's beautiful. I've always, even though Asheen had a couple of Z Blues, and I always stuck to my guns. I love the black dial. I love the contrast. Of course, I have a green screen, so you can't see the green, which is terrible. But I love the black and the orange, and I just love it. And in person, it's so much more beautiful because in person there's no green screen. So no, I like the white dial. What do you think about the white dial? I love it. I think it's possible. What are the subs? Are they at 4K yet? No, we're just a little bit over 2,000 subs. Doing what I can. I don't know what else. Sing, dance, have a party. I'm not taking my clothes off because no one wants that. Other than after I get myself in shape after the boxing, which I'm starting next week. I am signing up for there's a boxing place right down my street, and I'm going to sign up and I'm going to box 4 days a week because I've decided. Ray, between me, you, Dirk, I had the Iron Lady in my. We talk about that in the private meetings, Ray. Vaughn says, "Let's have a barbecue on your deck before the witch." She's never going to get it, my friend. She's never, ever, ever going to get it. She's not. She can't. She can't. She can't do it. She tried to have it. She took it to court and she lost. So I don't even know what she possibly has to sue me over now, because she doesn't even have a case now because they threw that out. So I don't know. It's just blowing smoke up everybody's ass. Andrew Olkovich, Canadian, $2. We love you. Continue to be. I love you, man. You guys are the best thing that have happened to me in the longest time. In the longest time. Gone. In Latin, JBB says it's shitload. Yeah, it could be. Mr. Watch Addict, you should definitely go and visit Asheen, do some wandering, get him to put it through the business, Mr. Watch Addict. Yeah, I mean, I could go do that. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Le Carré. I just blew up my screen. The UK government's fight against immigration has a new weapon now, thanks to their new Eurovision song they can use to turn immigrants' boats back to Calais. Is that right? Oh, jeez. Chili Badger. Interesting. I was also considering the white tile, but that green crystal as well. And I know. I stare at it all day long when it's on my wrist. I look at the way, get it wet, and then photograph it because the water droplets turn green. It's an optical illusion. I have it on my Instagram page, which is crazy. I was shopping and it was raining out, and I'm walking past my local church, and I looked at my watch and I saw all the water on my Milgauss was green dots, and then I filmed it. It was absolutely beautiful. Hands, knees, and tusses. Chili Meister. Vaughn says, why do I feel the sea is Eastern European? That's funny. Hi, Dirk Bogart. Sorry for your loss. Thank you very much, Hans. It's made an incredible impact on me. The Bruce Slum says, have her finance Italy. Finance? The fiance? I don't know. Finance Italy. Hans, I don't know what you meant by that, but I love you. Chili, it's going. That's my show. I'm way over it, but I am grateful to be here every single day for you guys. I'll be back. What is today? Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday. We'll have something more to talk about. What did we talk about today? We talked about I'll have more about the moon swatch for you guys. Anybody wants to join in, we're probably going to do a New York City overnighter, and I'll film the whole thing. We'll do a whole big thing, and that would be great, and we'll all walk out with Snoopy moon swatches. So until then, remember to say please and thank you. I'm going to add a new thing. Remember to hug the one you love. Remember to hold the door open. And whatever you do in life, try not to be a dick, unless, of course, the person you're dealing with is a total cunt.